Hello, Cinemaster lovers. Welcome back. I hope you're ready for an exciting experience because we've got something special for you today. Get comfortable, grab your snacks, and let's dive right into the action. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get started. Before we start this awesome movie, send blessings upon the prophet and make a beautiful language like you. It begins with a gazelle walking alone in the forest, barking, "This gazelle speaks languages." By coincidence, it finds a herb called ginseng and eats it, causing it to have seizures and strange complications in its body. We discover that it is turned into a zombie. It starts wandering, searching for any piece of meat to eat. It spots a tiger watching it from the trees. The tiger grabs it by the neck and eats it. Next, we see a girl named Ashin searching for the ginseng herb to save her sick mother. While walking, she comes across a cave, enters to explore it, and discovers symbols on the walls with writings that say, "The flower revives the dead, but the person who uses it must pay a price," and the price is turning into a zombie. She then returns to her poor village, known as the Border Village. The people of this village worship King Tsun, who rules the Besagun tribe. He occupied the village, looted its resources, and brought it under his control. Later, we see Ashin's father calling her, and noticing mud on her feet, realizing she entered the forest. He gets angry and says, "Why did you go into the forest? Haven't I told you 1,000 times not to go there? King Tsun's soldiers kill anyone who enters the forest." She replies, "Father, I want to get the ginseng flower to save Mom. This flower revives the dead." He responds, "Don't speak nonsense. Revive the dead? All of this is just myths and lies. Don't enter the forest again." We then shift to the forest, where King Tsun's soldiers are combing through it. By coincidence, they come across dismembered corpses, which we learn belong to the Bajoi tribe. The Bajoi tribe is strong and always rivals the Besagun tribe, ruled by King Tsun. The soldiers return to inform the king, who comes himself to see the bodies. Upon realizing they belong to the Bajoi tribe, known for their brutality, the king fears they'll go to war, leading to a massacre. To cover it up, he burns the bodies and tells his army deputy about the incident. Surprisingly, the deputy admits he killed them. The king scolds him for his recklessness, saying, "If the Bajoi tribe finds out, they'll destroy us." The deputy responds, "What can I do now?" The king orders him to keep quiet, saying, "I'll handle this mess." The king then heads to the border village with his soldiers. The villagers bow in respect upon seeing him. The king sits with Ashin's father and says, "I have a request." The king says, "I found 15 people from the Bajoi tribe killed, and I suspect a tiger did it. You know the forest is full of tigers. I want you to tell the Bajoi tribe that you saw the tiger killing them." The father agrees reluctantly. That night, he tells Ashin about the king's request. She warns him, "Don't do it, father. If the tribe finds out you're lying, they'll kill you." He reassures her, saying, "Don't worry." The next day, he goes to the Bajoi tribe and tells them he saw a strong tiger killing their hunters but couldn't help them. One of the tribesmen warns him, "If we find out you're lying, we'll kill you." Meanwhile, Ashin's mother is on her deathbed, taking her last breaths, with no one able to help her. Seizing the opportunity while her father is away, Ashin enters the forest to search for the flower. Meanwhile, King Tsun, having fabricated the tiger story, pretends to search for it with his soldiers to maintain the lie. Simultaneously, the Bajoi tribe gathers their hunters to search for the tiger too. Suddenly, the zombie tiger attacks them, tearing apart anyone it catches. Hearing the commotion, King Tsun and his soldiers head toward the scene. The hunters continue chasing the tiger. One of them prepares to kill it, but is overpowered, losing his hand to the tiger. The king arrives just in time to kill the tiger before it devours the hunter. The hunters dissect the tiger, looking for evidence that it ate their people, but find nothing. They accuse the king of lying, saying, "If the tiger had eaten them, we'd find bones. Clearly, you're lying." Prepare for an endless war. The king tries to stop them from leaving, finally confessing, "The border village killed them and sent someone to lie to you to divert suspicion." With this, the cunning king pits the two tribes against each other. Meanwhile, Ashin is still searching in the forest. The Bajoi tribe attacks her village, burning all the houses and killing anyone who resists. They exact severe vengeance for a crime the villagers didn't commit. By fate, Ashin is the only survivor, as she was away from the village. When she returns, she finds the entire village destroyed and everyone dead. She breaks down in tears, holding the ginseng flower. Ashin goes to King Tsun to tell him what happened, asking him to avenge her people. The king lies, saying, "The savage Bajoi tribe did this. Unfortunately, I can't intervene. You know how barbaric they are. The best I can do is let you live among us." Ashin begins living with the Besagun tribe, but is mistreated, forced to sleep in the animal barn. Every night, she remembers her family's tragedy and grows more determined to seek revenge. She works as a servant, washing clothes in the freezing cold, while secretly training in archery and preparing for the day of vengeance. Years pass, and Ashin grows stronger, becoming a skilled archer. One day the king visits her in the barn, asking her to spy on the Bajoi tribe, who are preparing for a major war. He wants her to infiltrate and gather information. She agrees and sneaks into the tribe, finding the soldiers leaving the village. Seizing the opportunity, she enters quietly and hides in the animal stable. While hiding, she sees someone enter, feeding another person like an animal. Curious, she waits until the person leaves to see who was being fed. To her shock, she discovers it's her father. She can't believe her eyes and says to him, "They kidnapped her daughter, but he has Alzheimer's due to severe torture and doesn't even remember her." She discovered that his hands and legs were amputated, and his condition was dire, to the point where he begged her to kill him and end his suffering. She held him for a long time until dawn broke. In the end, she killed him, set the entire tribe on fire, and left. She returned to her tribe and found all the soldiers leaving. That night, she sneaked into King Tosin's office to learn more about the truth. She found the guard in front of her and killed him. By chance, she saw a letter from King Tosin sent to the Supreme Commander. It stated that they were on the verge of going to war against the Bajoi tribe, but the king resolved the matter by telling the soldiers that the border tribe was responsible for killing the hunters. At that moment, Ashin understood the truth and realized she had been deceived all those years, living among the people who killed her family. She walked away in shock, thinking about how to take revenge. At that time, someone entered the residence where Ashin lived and saw a ginseng flower on her bed, but Ashin arrived and killed him. Not only that, she fed him the flower to turn him into a zombie, and indeed, he turned into a zombie. Within minutes, most of the kingdom had turned into zombies, and those who saw them didn't survive. The king, sitting in his office, heard a commotion and went to see what was happening. He was shocked to find the guard turned into a zombie, but he managed to kill him before getting bitten. He discovered that most of the kingdom had turned into zombies, but he killed anyone who came near him. Later, he and another person headed towards the gate to escape, but an arrow struck the other person in the head. When the king looked to see who was shooting arrows, he was shocked to find it was Ashin. Before he could say a word, she shot an arrow into his head, killing him. She stood on a rooftop, determined to kill the entire tribe and leave no one alive. By chance, a poor man climbed onto the roof and begged her to help him. She shot an arrow into his hand, pinning him to the wood. He hung there, screaming for help. The zombies heard his cries and headed towards him to devour him. At that moment, Ashin poured gasoline on him and the zombies and set them all on fire. With that, she had taken her revenge on the Besa-Jan tribe and killed King Tosin. By chance, she found the poor man still alive, so she tied him up and took him to her tribe. There, it was revealed that she had turned her family into zombies, chained them, and kept them in the barn. She gave them the poor man to eat, leaving only his bones. After that, she set off for the Bajoi tribe and found that only the leader and a few others remained, as she had burned the entire tribe when she met her father. She pulled out an arrow, aimed it at the leader's head, and the movie ended with that scene. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video. Goodbye.